in this day and age, the most dangerous thing for in law enforcement is a politician. Let me explain what I mean by that. I'm not talking about a person that's elected to office and really striving to do that office some justice. I'm talking about the person that would do anything to keep that seat. What law enforcement experience is that that person, the politician, would throw you up under the bus to save their political career, which makes officers apprehensive about doing their job. Because there have been a lot of officers. We don't have the same luxury, innocent until proven guilty. The officers are guilty until proven innocent, especially the public and the politician eye. When there's a community uproar, the officer got to go through so many changes to prove his innocence. And even with that, you're still guilty of something. So it's a disservice now to the community because officers are now coming to work, not all of them, to get a paycheck. I got to protect me because ain't nobody going to have my back. If I put my life on the line for the average Joe citizen and I had to shoot somebody, we have seen this, a good shoot. Now, the person that you shot because they had a gun or whatever, initially, yeah, the officer did a good job because he was about to do XYZ to the community. But then after a time period, oh man, the same people, the officer, they ain't even have a gun. The officer had to shoot him. He could have just shot him in the leg. He could have shot him in the air. He shot the gun in the air. And so now these people start making noise to the media, like you said earlier. And the politicians see this, not the elected official, the politician, and getting all the pressure from the community. I demand justice. So you disarm the police. I ain't gonna never tell you that in like any profession, every profession has an HR. We have what they call internal affairs. There's a reason for it because every profession has a bad apple, maybe one or two. There's some things that need to be tweaked. But is it worse? It ain't just in Chicago. I want to clear it up. I didn't work in the city I was from. I did 29 years in the south suburb of Chicago, Harvard. They call it Little Chicago.
Hmm. So
But
let me ask you a quick. Go ahead, cuz.
let me figure this that part. It's absolutely worse around the nation, not just Chicago. However, let me share this with this last part. I had the opportunity to talk to somebody in the media. And I was asking them why every time we have something that's tragic, y'all out here, when anytime we have something what is
That's
uh
good.
that's good, one of these young folks getting a scholarship or a free ride all the way through high, why y'all come out for things like that? That don't
You don't
sell.
sell. You don't sell.
And so in anything, the negativity is promoted, is sensationalized, and then we
Hmm.
do it ourselves with our own mouths. Man, did you hear about what such and such happened over there? You didn't just say that, you know what? That class, everybody graduated with honors. We ain't talking about that. We talking about we do it ourselves. We become
Yeah,
the
we do.
media, the local media to ourselves. And we demonize our own community.
We do. Let me ask you a question though, because you brought it up. You said that someone would say something like you could shoot in the air or you could shoot him in the leg. From my understanding, if a police officer shoots his gun, he has to shoot to kill. Is that correct?
Yes. It's not to shoot to kill, it's to shoot. I don't want to let me correct that language.
Okay.
It
Well,
the
not
an
shoot to
angle is
kill, but
not
shoot
shoot
to
to kill.
take down.
The thing is, if you have to use that level of threat, that means that person is a danger to either the officer or the citizens. And so you have to destabilize that threat. You
Okay.
don't pull out your weapon and shoot just because you're scared. There's a level of threat that meets that use of force.
Okay. You're bringing up such great points because I'm gonna ask you, and I know that it's probably true, and I don't know if you can answer it, but what do you think about officers being scared? Are they scared? Some of them. I
Yeah,
know everybody's not anything, and nothing is everybody all inclusive, but do you think officers that may be out here scared?
absolutely.
Okay.
Y'all got to remember, I don't care if you put on a waitress outfit or police uniform, right? You're still human
Mm-hmm.
with
Yeah.
very human emotions, right? The only
Mm-hmm.
difference is that a lot of times with officers, what masks that fear is adrenaline. When you
Okay.
rush into a certain situation, you ain't got time to feed that fear because it's reaction. I got to react now.
Right. Okay.
So the
Let me ask.
adrenaline, a mass fear, but absolutely the fear factor is there.
Okay. I want to ask you a question. It's kind of like off. This is kind of different, but I do want to ask it. So when we understand, like in not just in Chicago, because we're not totally talking about Chicago, we're talking about the United States of America, but we just brought up Chicago because that's where you're from and that's where I'm from. So in places where the um, recreational activities, like basketball courts and places where children can go. So I know you have some parks and things like that, but I know a lot of things have been taken away, and now parents actually have to pay for them, and they're not paid for by the state or anything like that anymore. Do you feel because those activities or recreations have been taken away that it helps with the violence, like it increases the violence?
Well, I'm a strong believer that the idle mind is the workshop for the devil. And this is my experience. There was a lot of programs offered to our people where the parents were so consumed with what they was going to that they wasn't getting their children involved. And we lost a lot of programs because of the low participation. We lost funded programs because there was no
Hmm.
reinforcement in home life. And so we can say there's not a lot now, but when it was there, the little leagues was dying because the people wasn't bringing their children to the baseball, and the coach can only go get so many at a time, and then when you go, they not there, uh, and it's not met with collusion between parent and the activity, and so there's a lot of things that we lost in our community due to lack of participation.
Hmm.
It ain't said
I
that
can.
it wasn't there. There was no participation. Now you lose the funding because you have to have a certain amount of participation to justify the funding for it.
Yeah, I get it. And now that is gone, now you looking for it because we're in a different time. So let me ask you this. As far as like families, okay, as far as me, let's just do me. Um, as a parent who started off young, and let's just say I'm still a little young, right? What do you feel like would be the best way for me to raise a young man to be a man? Like, no husband around, no boyfriend. I'm just a girl. I got a baby. And I know that I need to love him and I know that I need to protect him. But what do you think, because you're a man, that I would need to give him to help him to be successful in America?
It's very difficult and almost impossible. for a woman to raise a man and give him the tools of manhood. There was an experiment done on elephants. And whereas they took all the male elephants and they moved the female and the children to a different location, absent of the male elephant, the young generation became violent, murderous. Now, if you know anything about the elephant, they're a very loving community. But absent of the male bull, rebellion consumed their community. And until they brought the males back, is when it neutralized the rebelliousness of the youngins. Same with us. It's very difficult to be a man unless you see a man.
Hmm. I agree.
And, and so I'm not telling a woman to just have any old man in her life. And it doesn't always have to be romantic. It can be an uncle,
Hmm.
it can be a mature cousin. But women have to support male bonding,
Hmm.
right? Let me give you an
So,
example of that.
go ahead.
Mother's Day, not nationwide, worldwide, there's a universal acknowledgement and bonding and homage to one. You can have barely get reservations the day of Father's Day, everything open. The support of male bonding and the importance, in particularly with our community, has not been stressed. And it was taken away in the 50s and 60s because if the man who could still offer something, even though he couldn't get a job, if he was in the house, she lose her public aid,
Hmm. Yeah.
right? And so the
Mhm.
plot was to remove the male from the community, and the more we remove the male from the community, the more rebellious is there. And yet, at some point, the youngsters say, "Mom, you can't tell me what to do." He's feeling himself. He's in his male structure. You can't tell me what to do. But he hear that voice, that bass, he'll stand down.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that because I get so, I'm not going to use the word sad. I'm not going to use the word depressed. I get so, I don't know what word to use about my Black man because it's like, what do we do? I understand. I get it. And the reason that I get it is because I guess I'm different. I'm gonna put it like that. And probably a lot of people get it. It's just what do we do about it, right? So for me, you have this little boy and everybody that you bring around to kind of help you with him or that you think may be a help, a lot of times they're a hindrance or they have their own agenda or no agenda at all. So then you're put in a place like, how do I get him help? Who can help me with him? And sometimes you may have a brother or you may have a uncle, but every uncle and brother ain't what we need them to be to raise our children. So then we get in this place where we're trying to provide everything to this little guy because we want him to be happy and we feel like the world is already against him. So we wine and dine them with things. And then as they get older, they can't afford those things. So they go out and they try to look and see how to get those things on their own because they do want to be a man. But at the same time, there's not anything that provides them a way to do those things, even education. So just because you get educated, it doesn't change who you are. And yes, we can get educated and it can help a lot of us. Education is good. I'm not taking anything away from that. But when you're in these streets in these cities and you haven't had the right direction, it's hard to get on track. So, with that being said, and you being in the position that you're in, tell me what your future holds for our future men. Like, do you have any plans or do you see anything coming together? Are you trying to put anything together? I'm going to say this as well. Earlier today, and I told you, I looked at your Facebook page and I saw the things that you were saying, and it made me proud. It really did. Because I always think like, where are our leaders and where are the people that help us? You know what I'm saying? Because King ain't here no more. And a lot of people not. It's some good. I'm not saying it's not some good people out there. I'm not saying that. But how do we help the multitude? Because we get frustrated as well. And these young guys sometimes they're not even thinking on a level that we would think. You know, I've heard stories about people helping young people and them coming back to do things that they should never do to those people that tried to help them. So I'm just wondering, like, what do you see in the future for you or even for the community? And I mean, what is it that you feel like we could do, even if it's just one person? Like, how do we help?
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, some years back, he took the lead on this question. The FOI, which is the fruit of Islam, was known to be inside the communities, right?
Hmm.
And dealing with the things in the communities. We took the minister all over the city in troubled neighborhoods to show that they're loved, there's concern, and it was just men, right?
Hmm.
And so the brothers had to see the difference. A polished brother, a brother respectful, and what have you, and that it is possible. Sometimes we don't think things are possible. And so the minister got on us. I'm gonna go out there with you to show you how to do it, but this is your mission. This is what you're supposed to be doing, saving our people, resurrecting our people, loving on our people. As a member of the Nation of Islam, when we go out in our communities, whether people are smoking drugs or not, they hide it out of respect. Not that they fear, they hide it just out of respect. Because they see something, they see themselves. They see the better version of themselves. And they don't want to present to the better version of themselves the worst part of me. So
Hmm.
when you ask that question, we've got to first stop pitting male against female. We delve off into that too easily with one another, the gender war. Women say men ain't this, and women say men say the same thing about women. We got to stop that because there's value in each one of us. Then we have to examine our circles. We have to have accountability. What is my circle? If I'm around a circle and their theme, main language is nigga this, be that, guess what you attracted to your circle? Niggas and bitches.
Hmm.
So how do you expect a young man to treat a woman like a queen when all he hear from the adults in his life is the N word and the B word? He gonna become a nigga and he gonna treat them like bees. So now we have to attract a circle that we want to emulate and be around. We want well polished people, and polished don't mean that they matriculated through Harvard. I'm talking about good-hearted, pure people
Hmm.
who care about how they're presented to the world. This person could be a blue-collar person. They don't have to be corporate America. That's what we mess up, that the level of success is based upon capital, how much we earn. Our level of success is based upon good job,
Who we are. Hmm.
my good and faithful servant, right?
Say it.
And so
Hmm.
you did something that embarrassed me, but at the same time, I couldn't stop it because most men need to hear. They need to hear how they view through their black woman eyes. And I ain't talking about the woman that they land with, just the women in their eyes. But a lot of men, they still get embarrassed by compliments because we're not used to it. We hear compliments, what game this person trying to run on me? Because that's how we associated compliments.
We do too. Women
Yeah.
do the same thing. We on the same boat.
Now, so if we both on the same boat and we don't know how to compliment and uplift each other, then we dooming our children to the same thing.
Mhm.
And so
That's what it is.
our men who fail our women don't have to stay in failure mode all the time. But the men that are out here, I know a lot of single dads. Hell, my neighbor right now is raising his children by himself. These are the men that don't get highlighted. These are the men that don't get acknowledged. It's the men that that slept with this woman and her cousin and this and that. These are the men that get acknowledged. Men ain't nothing. They all dogs. No, they ain't. You just chose
No,
to
it's
go
just
to a kennel.
and let me say something about that. If the men are all dogs, who raised them? We did. So they raised by us. So we have to raise better people with better characteristics. And we have to set some standards. And it's hard to do all of that stuff because we ain't joined together with who we need to be with. And we need to be with a man. And it may not be enough of them out here. So, life is a little different, but we got to try harder. Like, we got to do better. Like, when you know better, you do better. Like, we just can't keep living day by day without doing anything to help anybody else. And financial help really ain't what people need. It's what we think they need because when we call for something, that's what we asking for. Can you help me with some money? But to be honest, some guidance and some direction and some love and those type of things will help you learn how to fish instead of me just giving you some fish.
So a single mama, absent of the presence of men, is doing a disservice to a child. Like I said, he can't be a man unless he see a man. It's the opposite. True, a single father can't teach a young lady how to be a lady. He can tell her, just like y'all can say, what I would want in a lady and how to wait. But a woman can give her the meaning, the wisdom behind the things that she teaches us what's ladylike and what's not ladylike. Right?
And I'm a beg to differ on that a little bit. I'm a beg to differ a little bit on that. But I believe the right man can raise a right woman and a right man. I believe the right woman can raise a right woman and help to raise a right man. I don't think we are set to just be, we are the bearers to bring them here. I don't think we're set to like do all the raising by ourselves, but I think that men are. I think that a man can teach a girl. I mean, there may be some things he may not want to do, but I believe that a man can because guess what? He has it all, to be honest. He has all of it. And you got to know what we're dealing with here. The man has it all. He just can't bear the children. And yes, they may not be as loving and caring as we are, but some, and they can be depending on how they're raised. I think a man can raise a woman. And I think he can teach her to be a lady. He just got to take the time to do it.
And to that point, cause I gotta say this, and I love this is the beautiful part, black folks. I want y'all to understand. The black man and the black woman necessarily, especially on the onset, don't always have to see eye to eye, but understanding will come later. So it's okay that you don't see eye to eye. It's all right. For me, I get it. But being a male, a black male in this world, we lack something that y'all possess. And that's called emotional maturity. Oftentimes we are taught to suppress our emotions.
Hmm.
That's not manly. And sometimes, especially with that girl, we can't teach what we're not. We can't teach emotional maturity when we don't possess it, right? And she's going to go through a array of emotions. You a woman. I don't know what you go through when you first get your menses. I don't know not just the physical, but the psychological things that you go through as a woman.
But let me tell you, Mike, so check it out. You may not know, but do you have to know? Because guess what? Girls raise themselves, boys raise themselves. We figure it out. Like you don't have to be emotionally into all that. All you got to do is be there and give me some love. I'm gonna figure it out. Like we gonna it's books, and nowadays you got computers and everything everywhere. Men can do it. And I think they can do a great job at it, to be honest. I'm just not going to say that a man can't raise a woman because he can't. And as a matter of fact, some women, if y'all out there and a man and raised y'all and y'all turned out pretty good, then I want y'all to holler at me because I believe that he can. I believe that he has everything because he's supposed to be king. He's
And but
supposed to
let
be
me say this
king.
though, cuz I'm not. I don't want you to say with a definite or receive with a definite that single parents are not successful in raising their children. My
Okay.
point is that when it's not two, there's something that's
Oh yeah,
lacking.
that's a lacking.
That's a
Oh
that's
yeah.
a disservice,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
I'm not saying that. I don't want you to get misunderstood. That I'm saying that there's not a cadre of people saying I raised my male child, female child alone, and they turned out to be good. But there is something that's beneficial when they have the
Yeah,
duality of both sexes.
I agree. I agree because that's how it was meant to be. I agree. So we do agree.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree that we need both parties. We need a male and a female in order to have uh, a even plane of good and everything, not necessarily good and bad. That's what it sounds like, but no, not that. But we do need both parties are needed, both sexes are needed in order to have productive, affectionate, loving, caring people. Is what I think. So. Well, yeah, so it's been good. It's been good. I got to bring you back because I didn't get all my questions. But when I tell you, you have done me a service, I appreciate you and I thank you. Do you have anything that you'd like to add?
Because I know your story, I know how sensitive it is. I know that you are a loving and are still caring individual who loved your children. And because of your loss, my heart goes out to you. But in your loss, you gaining so much wisdom of learning you. That giving nature as a mother, your loss is amplifying that. And selfishly, beautiful selfish. Selfish is always not the next word. Selfishly, because you know the pains of loss, you do not unselfishly want another parent to go through that.
I really
So
don't.
this, what has happened to you, caused you great grief. And maybe because of your great grief, you might save one life.
Yeah,
Even, even, I want you to hear this, cuz, even the life of a mother or father that's a victim because they might have suicidal thoughts. Knowing that somebody feels how they feel, knowing that they can hear and can relate to somebody, this might save the living's life. who can't
Praise
cope with
God.
what's going through. So I love you. Keep doing what
I
you're
love you
doing,
too.
and in what you're doing becomes therapeutic to you. Your answers
And I
come through your guests.
it does. And I'm so grateful. And I'm gonna add to Demetrius. So, Demetrius is my firstborn child. I had him when I was 15 years old. And when I had Demetrius, the whole world was against me. Everybody and everything. And he gave me the strength to continue forward. I ain't never hit a crack pipe. Yeah, I smoke some weed. You know what I'm saying? I drink and have drank, not an alcoholic or anything like that. But he saved me from those things. And so in return, I just want people to be able to get through this thing we call life, right? Because we're going through it. Like we ain't staying here, we're gonna go through it and then we're gonna be gone. But Demetrius he passed away in 2022. And I had a birthday. He passed away August 28th, 2022. I had a birthday August 13th, 2022. And he came out as he always does. And he posted as he always does for me on my birthday. And as I read the post all the time, it says, if people only knew how you are and all the knowledge that you have and how you want good for everybody. And I do. And I know it's not possible, but I want it. You know what I'm saying? I think we all can do good. I think we all can be good. And my good ain't your good. Your good ain't my good. Don't mean we all have to be equal. We are at a certain point, but we're not totally equal because some people gonna do better. Some people gonna go further. Some people gonna live longer. Some people gonna be in better health. Some people gonna have longer hair. Things are gonna be different because we're all different, but yet we're all the same. So he wrote that little thing for me, and I just keep thinking about it. And I never thought of being on a podcast. It's not my forte. I'm more of a quiet person in person. Um, I hang out and I have a good time. I'm Rachelle, don't get it twisted, but at the same time, I just I did never wanted to be on a platform of any kind. Um, but I'm here, and I'm here to help people. And so that my child too goes back to everybody belongs to somebody, no matter what. We all are children of somebody, and everybody we come in contact is children of somebody. So we got to learn to get this thing together because it's not much time. I mean, you never know what tomorrow gonna bring. We already said that though. So, cuz I appreciate you. We're going to talk offline a little bit. I thank you for coming on. I thank you for being transparent. I thank you that you were sent to be over the police station in all those different areas and help people in all those different areas in the limelight. I mean, not in the limelight, in the back where people couldn't see you, but you're just doing things and making a way to help your people, to help your community, to help your family. And that's what it's all about. It's about helping. Because if we help, then we easy to give, then God is easy to give us. Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Thank
I
you.
love you.
Love you too.
Thank you. All right, we'll talk soon because I'm gonna have you back, I promise.
Yes, ma'am.
Stay in peace.